future if you keep getting hit without cleansing them, which is something that I found very interesting. The biggest thing for me when it comes to this difference is just how this makes it so that now you have to respect the monster a lot more. I like the fact that New Gen is trying to encourage
He's not doing it in the mobs, though. He's not.
Players to be a lot more aggressive and to have the possibility to keep that aggression if they
no, he did say he didn't look up a guide. He actually
but
did stay
I think
put.
that every
I'm
time
like,
that you
alright,
face a
whatever.
monster for the first time, there has to be this moment where you're like, okay, I cannot just like charge head on and do whatever I want. I have to think, how am I going to approach things? I have to be careful with the way that I interact with this monster. If the monster has paralysis, if they have poison, if they have like high aggression, if they have like a very erratic moveset, all of those things will force you to respect the monster, and you cannot just disregard their moveset or their...
What I meant?
or
Oh,
the
yeah, no, I was
different
like, what the
you
fuck
have
is
to
this guy
play
talking
around
about?
them, at least at the beginning. And that is something that I would like to see more in Monster Hunter just in general. Now, you might be thinking that, you know, I'm comparing
Yeah.
the low rank experience from GU with the
Fights
higher
Dread Queen,
experience
goes,
of Wilds, and that's kind of weird. I think one of the best aspects of Monster Hunter is this feeling of scale. Scale in Monster Hunter can be extremely important to convey what exactly is the experience that you should be looking for in this game from
He's got good music taste,
one
though,
of the
at
biggest
least.
problems that I have, for example, with the way that World of Warcraft has completely changed the player experience is that, well, this is a problem that I have with MMOs in general, right? Is that a lot of MMOs put the focus on
I think
their
so, Tuck, yeah.
progression systems and in the overall experience in the end game. Meaning that you are not really playing the game when you're at level 1. You, quote-unquote, start playing the game when you have already put 100 hours into it, and you get to max level, and then it's like the progression curve starts, right? Which I think, you know, back in the day I wouldn't really think much of it, but today I feel like I don't like that. I like when a game shows you from the very start what is the experience that they are offering to you. And in GU, when you start, the feeling of scale that you can get from different things, like for example upgrading your weapon from the first level to the second level, it has such a big impact in your gameplay that you want to engage with things like crafting and gathering from the very start. It's not like you can bulldoze through things. You get these meaningful interactions from the beginning. So you start with very low resources. You start with really bad gear, right? You get really low quality gear, and the moment that you can get your hands on a couple of upgrades, the feedback from the game immediately gives you a feeling of impact behind those upgrades. It's like you go from the basic weapon to the first upgrade of that weapon, and you can immediately start seeing the monsters flinching more, or maybe getting stunned more easily, or like going from the basic armor to the very first piece.
I'll give this guy a pass though, because he's on the GU is good train.
How much your damage taken
I won't
is
blow his
lowered
ass up
by
too
a
much.
simple stat
Criticism.
such as
We'll let him
armor,
cook.
like defense, right?
What's he going
So
on about?
even if at low rank you cannot
How
get
good
your
old
hands
Monster
on a
Hunter
lot
is.
of like skills, you still have elements that are very impactful to your experience and your gameplay that you can engage with from the very start. These things matter from the very first moment. If I upgrade my weapon or my armor, they have such a big impact in my experience that I want to look for those elements and I want to engage with them right now. I don't have to wait to get to the end game to start making these things matter. They matter right now. And that is the best thing that I felt
The best feeling move in the game.
You. And to some degree, I also
That laser
felt
sword
when I was
is
playing, like,
peak.
World and Iceborne and Rise, upgrades mattered. They could really change your experience from the very beginning. And that is, to me, it's amazing. It's so good because it puts you on the progression treadmill and it lets you appreciate the scale of things, which is something that today has been a little bit lost with
Damn, look at him
with
go.
new gen
He's
VR.
getting all these fucking
And
yards.
that is an experience that I think should be
None of the
you know,
follow-up though.
part of the core elements of the general Monster Hunter experience always, right? So that's one thing that I really liked about GU. The other thing is, well, as I said before, you know, the whole idea that you have to respect the monsters. Monsters, even in low rank, can be so fucking brutal, man. And because you have so
Bad
little
angle.
resources at this point, like at the beginning, having to manage your healing is quite important. Like, I even played a little bit with like healing files because that allowed me to save a bit of money and a bit of potions, right? I was using the healing files hunter art with the charge blade simply because that meant that I could save a little bit in potions, right? So
I guess at the beginning
those
of the
things,
game,
for example, are little interactions that I think can give you this feeling that when you get
at that point, I'd
this
rather
level
just
for the
get some
first time,
honey
you're nobody.
and make a mega potion.
And there's this huge ecosystem
But
that doesn't
alright.
really care about you. You get there, you are.
Milk, I don't
the
think he used
You are
it.
the outsider, right? And you're.
You wanted
trying
the
to
purest
establish
experience, I
a
guess.
good base of
He's not even running
and a
2
good
cats or anything,
stock
so
of
you know.
resources. But that takes time. So you have to make that journey to stack.
I'm pretty
up
sure he just
resources
went for the
and
purest
stack on
experience.
different items and on different materials for your upgrades and things. And the best part about GU that I know a lot of people don't like, but the reason why I think it works in GU is because they know that when you start, you're pretty much butt naked. So they throw you at the beginning, they throw you to a couple of like gathering quests. They don't make you fight monsters immediately, which
Attack
to be
through the
fair,
cats.
in World, when
Oh,
they did
you think
that,
he just missed it?
it was okay because they also give you a lot of
Damn.
resources on like the supply box, and you can also like craft a lot more things on the go in World, for example, right? So I think that's fine. But in GU, you know, it's part of the experience that you have limited resources. So the first thing that they make you do is, you know, just go on a couple of gathering quests and stock up a little bit on different materials and different resources so that you can have healing items and you can have materials for upgrades so that when you get hunting, you at least have some things to work with, which is just very good design, is simply very, very good design. I am extremely pleased and surprised with how well implemented everything is in GU, despite the huge level of jank that the game still has. Because I'm having a great time. To be honest, just the game is so fun to me. But I'm not gonna pretend here like the game doesn't have a lot of junk, because it still carries a lot of that old-gen design.
What does he mean by jank? I feel like this was fine. Like old gen, I think the only jank I hated was not being able to just completely 180 your hunter. But outside of that, the exchanges are good. Cat training is pretty good. You can just give a friend a god cat if you want to. You're too lazy to fucking figure it out yourself or look through it yourself, which is what happened to me. So, I don't know. Seems fine to me. You had me in the first half, too.
Like,
Honestly, I don't think this is one of the least janky Monster Hunter games because it's right before World. There's not too much jank, IMO. Like, the menuing on your sharpness bar, I guess, might be, like, kind of jank, because you can't see exactly where it's at. But even then, it's not terrible, because, you know, you just keep hitting until it fucking oofs, or you keep hitting until the monster leaves. Like, it doesn't really change too much.
animations are extremely
I know what he's
stiff.
talking about.
You cannot buffer a lot of moves from the weapons.
Hmm? I think he's just saying that because it was in 30 FPS. That's a complaint for 30 FPS, I think. That's not so much a... That's not so much something you can't fix yourself by just adjusting to the 30 FPS. Because I know what he's talking about, but you can fix that by hitting the button several more times. I don't even think you really need to buffer any inputs, to be honest with you, but whatever.
You have very simple combos too. Like your basic combos are pretty straightforward for the most part. The monsters have really weird animations where sometimes it feels like the attacks are like frame zero attacks. So like they
Rathian and Rathalos charges, I guess. I'll give him that one.
start immediately.
But they also turn towards you. They do 2 turns and then they run you over. So you just have to have pattern recognition at that point.
And you can never see them coming, right? But apparently that has to do with the fact that the tells for the different attacks are a lot more subtle in
Garuga
GU,
too, I guess.
right? It's not like in World where, for example, Rathian in GU will fucking just spin suddenly, and you will get hit by the tail. But in World, you can see how Rathian is like wiggling the tail a little bit before she starts spinning. So those different
Yeah, that's fair. I can give him that. Because tail whips and charges were definitely something that needed improvement. At the same time, again, like I said with the turning and where your positioning is, you can kind of assume these things.
I think is something that I really struggled with.
It's hard to explain, but you get used to it is the best explanation.
I was really used to having the monsters really announce their attacks, right? The amount of polish that they've put in New Gen when it comes to the posture, you know, the posture.
The fights with the monsters are really good. They really improved that.
When they are about to do the attacks, I think is something that should be appreciated more. And I can really appreciate it more now thanks to GU, because in GU a lot of the animations are still really, really jank, and they just come out of nowhere, you know.
Not a lot,
It's
only
not like
some.
I haven't had a level
don't
of
agree with that
frustration with
point.
a couple of things that I've seen.
I think it's because it's his first. He's making this video after his first 16 hours. I think that's the premise. So if you're fighting Yan Ku and everything, then yeah, some of the monsters are gonna have some jank ass moves. But even then, I don't agree that it's most of them.
In the game so far.
Also, by the way, we did it, boys. Rank 1 engineering. Instead
Well,
of
yeah.
you need to dan it or don it and all that stuff, but we got the giga stats from that. Or I should say the really small amount of stats from that. Inventory is fucking a mess, but that's fine. That's okay. Make alloy now, though.
That's okay.
Go back to watching the video.
I think that for the most part things, you know, work well, but there are a couple of things that make you say, okay, this is probably the way that this monster was designed from the inception of the franchise, and the devs probably don't really want to work too much on the moveset and to polish it to the degree
Is he playing fucking Ace Combat music? I think he is.
that you can easily
I'll find out in a couple
identify
of
what they
moments.
are doing. So I struggled. I struggled a lot with some monsters, especially the ones that I met for the first time. For example, the shark monster. I don't remember the name. The shark monster on the
Dampiros.
desert. Very big guy. Or bro, like
Oh, shark monster in the desert. What the fuck? Why is he talking about Nibble Snarf? Yeah.
I think I'm finally
Lava
starting to
Drum?
get
Oh.
why so many people are so like
That would be closer.
devoted to fucking Nibblesnarf, right?
No, it is Nibble
Such a
Snarf. What?
silly fucking fight, dude. But like it also had it
He doesn't know the bomb trick, does he? Come on, state you know the bomb trick.
frustrations, but when I got it, I was like, all right, this is pretty fun, to be honest.
Oh, well, there
So
you go.
yeah, all those different things, you know. Even when it seems that the resources to design the monsters were rather limited, maybe for the engine or for different reasons, they still go the extra mile to make sure that the monsters' personalities are really